How is everyone? Welcome to another episode of Three Girls, One Deck. Actually, Three Girls, One Guest, because we have a special guest, Linda. Hello, Linda.
Hello.
So she has a new YouTube channel called Blue Hour Tarot. Is that correct?
Yes.
As well as an Instagram handle. So all her information should be in the description box below. But hello to everyone coming in. Hi, Beth. Hi, Sarah. All right. So, Linda, first of all, how long have you been doing tarot?
I think since like 2006.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But with big breaks in between, because you know how that goes. But yeah, I probably would have got immersed in it sooner if I'd picked a different first deck. You know how that is too, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
So everything's shaking. Here we go.
Hello, Tammy Pie.
Tammy Pie.
Tammy Pie. Yes. All right. Okay. So in this live, Linda will be showcasing a few decks that none of the rest of us have.
Or aren't even really very familiar.
Yeah, I don't even know them.
Yeah, not very familiar with them. I mean, I think I've seen them around, but in any case, so we're going to dive into that. So hello to anyone else coming in that I haven't seen. Okay, so Linda, I'm going to put you on blast. And you can show us your very first deck, whichever one you would like to. Okay, why is this not working? Okay, and we're going to
drag Linda over. There we go.
We're getting better at this.
You're getting first, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and actually, Beth had. Oh, hi, Rachel. Beth already has a question. What was your first deck, Linda?
Oh, yes.
It was the Mythic Tarot because I love mythology, but it was just so overwhelming because there's so much information in the book. And I thought, I know mythology, and then I'm like, I have no idea what's happening, So it kind of like I put it away for a little bit. And then I picked up the Morgan Greer, which I used a little bit, but that really didn't get me going either.
Okay.
It was like third or fourth deck before I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
Same. Oh, same.
Yeah,
because I think Mythic Tarot, I found out in retrospect, was actually the second deck I ever owned, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. So
it's great. I haven't given up on it. I'll never get rid of it, but yeah, it was a bad first deck for me for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, same. Yeah. Did we lose Heather?
We sure did.
Okay, just making sure. I'm like,
so she says carry on without her.
Okay.
So we'll do our best.
Oh, my laptop. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Blue Crescent Tarot.
Hello, Blue Crescent Tarot. How's the baby? Man, she's all hands full. But thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
And
new baby.
Yes, new baby. So
congratulations.
That's so exciting.
Indeed. And Sarah, you can remember, I believe you can also be flashing things up on the screen.
Oh, I sure can.
Yes, you can. It might be under my name, but when you comment, we're trying to figure this all out, people.
Look what I did. I have powers.
You have powers. Yes, admin powers.
I have all kinds of powers.
Yes.
We're figuring things out on StreamYard, guys. So, again, bear with us. But
you're making me feel a lot better about it.
Oh no. It's like, we're totally clueless here.
Yeah.
So
you're in semi-competent hands.
Yeah.
So,
those are the best ones, I think. It's just boring otherwise.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So, I guess we will start without Heather, and hopefully she will join us soon. All right. So what's the first one, Linda?
So the first one is the Pythonic Tarot by Jessica Shaw. She is Circle of Wolves. Also, there's a Circle of Wolves Oracle. So I've had this quite a while, since a little bit after it first came out. And I would call it's a witchy deck.
Okay.
It also has a lot of deity in it. And I know I've heard other people say that they liked the deck, but it didn't line up with the choices that she made for deities and things like that. But you know, that's her witchy practice. But she's an amazing artist, and a lot of the images look like her. You know what I mean? And that kind of usually bugs me a little bit when you can see too much of the real person in a deck.
Yeah,
but she's so different in all of it, and she's so in the archetype of the card, I guess, that it doesn't bother me with her. So and she's from New Zealand, so there, whatever people in New Zealand, whatever that word is, Anapodian, I think is what they call themselves as a witch. And I'm not, I don't consider myself a witch, but I sure have a lot of witchy decks. I'm just saying. So like, this is my favorite. This is what got me to it, was the High Priestess. I also have it on the wall behind me, the print.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I'm really sorry. Can I just ask what deck this is? Because I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Heather. Yeah, the
That's okay.
Pythonic Tarot.
Thank you.
Yeah, by Jessica Shaw. And you know, and it's kind of pricey, and it ships from New Zealand, and there's all that stuff. But honestly, like, this is how she makes her living. I feel like it's totally worth it. Both the money and the weight, you know. And yeah, and the book is really good. It's really small print. I don't know if she has a PDF yet or not, but it's also really good. And I, you know, that to me, oh, here's the alternate death card. You know, you got a little bush going on there.
Yeah. I'm pro-bush, so.
Yeah, that's the one I use as a bookmark. Like, oh, I'm on that page. Yeah, so a lot of these, the book is really great. So when I read a guidebook, I always like to find, if I can find one thing in each card entry that makes me see a slightly different perspective, I'm there for it. Because a lot of people are like, I don't read the books, but like, I want to find one thing that broadens my personal meaning library that I have, you know. And there's a lot of that in here. And she has like the big sections on the majors, and then she goes into the meanings and includes the majors again with more meaning focus instead of explaining, you know, what's in the card. But she does do that on most of them. So and this is the Hierophant, which a lot of use of color. The color is amazing. And I don't usually like the Hierophant, but on this one, I believe he is like a priest of a certain goddess. So he's guarding the entrance to the goddess, which I thought was kind of nice because it gets it way off the Christian track, you know? So that's pretty cool. And then the strength card is the Chimera that she's riding.
Oh, interesting.
That is created by her own. Like, this is what she created with her will and her strength. This is what it turned out to be, which is pretty awesome.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
That is totally different.
So it's like you manifest your own beast, right? So yeah. Everybody always wants to see the Hermit. And the colors do just glow like this.
That is really
great. And these are the backs. I don't know if I did that very well.
Oh, they're nice.
Justice. Yes, she does have a severed head.
I like it.
Look at the reflection. There we go. Yeah, I like it too.
That's awesome.
I mean, sometimes you just feel like that, like off with their heads.
Yeah, don't know. Totally.
Yeah, and like this is the Devil card, which is really interesting. So it's like there's a grave. Let me get out of that light. And you can see the glow from the grave there. And the person that, you don't know if it's a man or a woman, that's not really the devilish force there that you have. We could turn it upside down. You can see it.
Oh, that's really clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like, I mean, I worked with the deck for like a year before I like started like noticed that enough to go back and read it again and go, oh, I forgot about that. That is a thing, you know. It's amazing. And the Moon.
So hello, She Walks in Beauty. Welcome. And then Beth says this reminds her of the Litha deck for some reason, which is another deck I'm not very familiar with. I don't know if anybody else here has thought
the Children of Litha.
No, different Litha, I think, right?
Different Litha.
Yeah.
Yeah. the color, it's just so glowy and neat. And then for you cat people, the 9 of Wands, look in the cave, the eyes.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like
Oh,
a
yeah,
black
yeah.
cat there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I really love the artwork of this.
Mm.
This is really beautiful.
Yeah, and to
I've
be
never
fair,
looked
it's
at
one of
that.
those where this is her world. So of
Mhm.
course, the age is her age, and they're all, white women. And that's something I'm trying not to do anymore, but I'm never letting go of this deck. So
Oh, the Hierophant is what reminded me.
Children of, oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Got
I like that the cup is showing spilled under the table, because you can see it's got a lot of RWS in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just a tiny bit different. And her favorite deck is Thoth. So
Mm-hmm.
if you know Thoth, you're going to find that in there as well.
Okay.
I think
And
Julie
I
is
remember-
the only one of us who knows anything about the Thoth.
I am
Yeah, I think so.
still a very baby newbie in so
Yeah. And there's some men in this deck, even though it's very, goddess oriented. They're all, I think this is kind of cool, as resting. You're also like, he's, taking care, he's got to get the blood off his weapons and take a break. Like, oh, I'm out of danger. I can clean the blood off my weapons.
I love it.
Yeah.
This deck definitely has some like fierceness to it. Like it has a really sort of like, the colors are really beautiful, but it still has kind of a raw feel in a lot of ways.
It does. And I kind of like that, because like sometimes they make it too mild, whereas this feels like the 7 of Swords here, like you can take it a lot of ways, either she's leading him in the right direction or the wrong direction. And clearly she's got a lot of power there. So all of that is very obvious. And then, like I said, the beasts are great. So in this one, she's on a bat.
Oh, cool.
I like that.
I love it.
Yeah. So you don't know if it's a ginormous bat, which is terrifying,
Or a really small
Or she's like a little
teeny tiny person.
Yeah. I like to think of it as the tiny person, but
yeah.
And then one more I pulled out that I really like was this King of Crystals, because it's crystals for pentacles.
Okay. So are all the minor suits renamed, or just
No, just that. So we've got blades, chalices. So yeah, blades, chalices, wands, and crystals.
Crystals. Okay.
Yeah. But you can see that the color in this is like,
yeah.
Yes.
It's really gorgeous.
yeah. So I know some people also had strong opinions about her cardstock. This has been fine. You can shuffle it. It's thinner. And I think that whatever she chose really made the colors pop. And I think that's more important than, well, I don't like thick cardstock anyway, but
I don't know either. Yeah.
but once you have it in your hand, you're like, this is totally doable. And it seems to be, I mean, I edged it right away, and it gets a little bit chipping, but I've had it for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you like, and she always has the plants in here and flowers, and she does mention those most of the time.
Okay.
Like why she chose certain plants, or whether it's poisonous or not, that kind of thing. Because it's that kind of deck.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's that.
So I have a couple questions about it, if you don't mind. Well, okay. So first of all, I did notice that Rachel in the chat mentioned that she has had this deck in her cart for the past week, which I thought was like a really cool coincidence. So to chat in, I'm curious about like what specifically attracted you to the deck as well. But so for you, Linda, like how does it read for you? Are there particular situations where you find yourself reaching for this deck, or like?
It's mostly for myself, because I feel like it's a little bit hard hitting, but I don't really like soft decks. So in comparison, it's not really bad. Like it's not really slapping you around all the time. It kind of depends on how you come at it. You know what I mean? If you come at it in a mode for looking for something that's softer, that's what you'll get. But when you're like, oh, I just need something to snap me out of it, it's also really great in that way. So, and I really like this Three of Blades too, because, you know, it's not got the heart. It's definitely RWS, but it's not the big heart. You know, it's more, a lot of body language. She's really good at how everything looks in the cards that are less happy, you know, with the way the shoulders are, you know, all that stuff. You can't just have stick figures in every card and throw a heart on there and make it be bloody and it's fine. I don't like that.
I know
That's like the kind of deck I would buy. I'm not gonna lie.
I know that heart symbolism is you know, super old and, you know, has been around for a really, really long time and everything. But honest to God, I'm so tired of it.
You know, I am too, but the decks I love that I have with that on it are the ones that take it, like they go ahead and make it a thing, like it's the Sacred Heart.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So, and that's its own thing. So like one of these decks has that in it actually. And I really love that, but just the generic, to me, that's a pip. It's a pip that is a negative, you know, but I know everybody, if you're like me, I always like to look at the Eight of Swords, Eight of Blades, and this one, where she's kind of being trapped probably by her grief or
that's clever.
not moving on, you know.
Is this medium like colored pencil or water? I don't know.
I think she's watercolor, because she has a lot of live art on her Instagram. So I would definitely recommend that. And I did write that down because she's had to change it a couple times because of people hacking. So now it's circle.of.wolves.nz.
Okay.
Yeah, and she painted it from 2015 to 2019.
Wow.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, I don't know why anyone who lives in New Zealand wouldn't own it.
Seriously,
because that's where she's Antipodean Witch, I guess, is something specific
that is
to New Zealand.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Or
so,
I mean, like New Zealand and Australia, like, is that like, I mean, because that's like
time zone wise.
I don't know, or because it's like hemispheric, right? Like the Antipodes is like,
right.
Yeah.
So you know, and I don't know why anybody who wouldn't own it if they could get it shipped from across town, you know, like across your own country, or and lots of crows, you know. So yeah, I recommend it if it's been in your cart for a long time. When I got it, I wasn't as sure, and then when you get it in your hands, you're like, oh, I don't know why I waited so long.
Gotcha.
And that's not me just being pushy. I really
no, totally. As we always
can be pushy.
We are, but like that is so that I mean, I'm actually very intrigued by this one. I'm gonna check this out after we.
And I will also. I marked something in here. What was it? That would kind of give you a flavor for the book. So like the way she writes is really kind of spooky, you know? So like with the Hermit, one of the lines in here is that it's a watcher of the night, and she's talking about the image, the humble glowworm lights the way for those who crawl and slither upon the earth.
Oh, well.
So you know she's a snake person, so that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then so one of the directions she goes, the series of events required to create intelligent life are so crucial, and she has realized how blessed she is to have been given the opportunity to express her spirit through human form. So that's another hermity thing, you know, when you're like going inward, like even more so, where you're I'm in a human form. I'm already in my place.
Right. Exactly. It's literally contemplating your own existence, like beyond just that, which is very hermity. That's really cool.
Linda, can you show us the Queen of Swords, please?
Yes, I can.
I apologize while she's doing that for the funny angle, but my laptop completely died, and you are all on my iPad now. So if you can get my nose.
No worries.
All good.
So it's Blades. So it's Queen of Blades.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
I am really intrigued by this deck, actually.
I
I
am
really like
too.
the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Um,
then let's see if she was one of the ones I marked in here, because I did go through and mark some things, because sometimes people are like, what's the the book like? The print on this is really small, so and I going back and forth here, I can barely see anything.
Yeah.
Strong mind, sense of personal power.
Mhm.
And she throws in things like, she'll say it's a counselor or a therapist.
Okay. Okay.
She so I think she gives a little bit for the way different people read.
Right.
So if you're one of those people who likes to assign those things, she's thrown in her thing, and there's enough info there where you can use it or not use it. And also I like that she puts quite a bit of shadow into her upright position. So if you don't read reversed, you still aren't allowed to forget the duality of the cards, right? So even though she does have a separate reverse section. So I thought that was really good. And she puts the on the court, she does put the astrological, like Queen of Blades, 21 degrees Virgo to 20 degrees Libra. I don't know if that's more the specific than usual.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like astrology,
not a clue.
None of us here is fully. We are not the most astrology literate.
No, we are not. We
It might
are
be a
not.
thought. She might use those associations.
Yeah, she
like
could.
even on the 8 of Swords, she says it's Jupiter in the first decan of Gemini, 0 to 10 degrees. But for someone who's into that, it's so nice to see
on that. Absolutely.
I'm like, there's somebody listening to this who they're like, dang, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm like,
good.
I was told
I recognize all of the words independently, but when you put them together,
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know what it was.
When I get that far into it, my brain just starts going.
Yep.
So yeah, so the little book, awesome. And it's actually quite a big book, so I'll check and see if there's a PDF for it, because I'll probably get it just because I know over time I don't want to read that small.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you please show us the 8 of Cups?
Yes, I can.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah. There you go. Tammy Pie is that person.
Yeah,
I knew there would be at least one person.
Yeah, exactly.
Who appreciates
Help
all
us
of that
understand
stuff.
the astrology, Tammy Pie. We have no idea.
So I'm just gonna.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
it jumps. I wonder if it was out in my stack that I had, because I go in there and the 8's just not there, which means I probably already pulled it out and put it somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
I'll find it though.
Oh, are we looking at the 8 of Cups for Julie? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I like that so much. That I like the meaning of it.
I do too.
Though, they don't
And
really deviate from standard.
8 of Cups is an awesome card, and it's also one of my favorite individual pieces. Like in the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's one of my favorite individual pieces of artwork. I really like the artwork of it. Just the way that just the composition of it and everything, like it's a really cool image. So yeah, I always like the 8 of Cups too.
Oh my goodness.
Hi Sarah. Why are you so large?
The struggle is real, you guys.
That happened like once in a live stream. Had to F up a little bit.
It takes years, but eventually, yeah, that's what I've been realizing, Tammy. I've been like working my way through I've been working my way through like an astrology beginner book, and there are still so many things where I'm trying to absorb them, and it's really basic stuff too, like the houses. I'm just like, I don't know what that means. Like you can tell me that something's in this house, and I'm like, okay, that house represents XYZ. But what does it mean to say, like, if I look up in the sky, what does it mean to say it's in the house? I don't understand that.
Or like,
you got to draw
house in
like
Pisces or something. Okay, I'm gonna put you in solo layout. If you could hold it closer to the camera so that we can see. Oh, okay. That is the 8 of Cups.
It's different, right?
Yes.
So it says a young woman rests in a circle of 8 Amanita muscaria, which represent the chalices. 2 of the toadstools pour the waters of vision over her as she sleeps. She dreams safely in an open meadow. And then she talks about the fungi a little bit, potentially deadly. In this card, they're benevolent, and like the princess and foxgloves, primroses and foxgloves, they signify an association to fairy influence in the world of airy spirits. So where it comes into, okay. So if it's the correct amount and you know where to knock, a door opens, a portal in the trunk of a tree. So this window is being opened through a vivid shamanic dream that the woman is creating. So she's creating gateways into other worlds. So I guess that would be kind of like.
So can I see that again? Like a little closer. Oh, okay.
There we go.
I really actually like that.
Yeah. So she could leave.
Yeah.
Or you could just leave in your mind and do the work you need to do and come back, I guess. I mean, that's the way I would think of it. All very purposeful. And I guess that would link in, how when people have mushrooms and they go on their little, it is like therapeutic. I would
mind journey. Yeah.
And if I do know, I don't remember. There's a very real possibility, but yeah. Any other requests on this one? So, the alternate death card is basically the similar, but a woman. And so I chose it. She also has Bush, Julie. I know that you're pro.
I am very pro. I mean, not to like keep harping on it, but
no, I am too, honestly. So that's
people are so afraid of it. Why?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I don't know. Nobody ever seems to care when guys have it, so I don't know why. I just think it's another way to control women, like it's dirty or something. It's stupid.
Oh my goodness.
That's my opinion, TMI.
All opinions welcome. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Pythonic. Any other requests?
I don't think so. I really like this comment from Rachel.
Yeah.
So
rich watercolor art. Yes. Mythical fantasy world, creatures in nature, thoughtful guidebook.
Yes.
Really,
dark feminine edge. That's really what I like about it. The most.
Yeah.
Is because it's not your typical, it's a lot of archetypes mixed together. So we have your light and dark feminine. So I do like that.
So would you say that this deck is probably not for a complete newbie to tarot, or do you think that the guidebook is comprehensive enough?
I think the guidebook is comprehensive enough.
Okay.
And she does put, the front section does have spreads. She has spreads in there. She does a little bit of explaining, but not too much, which is annoying at the beginning of a guidebook anyway.
Yeah.
She talks about divination. She has a chart in here for all the major arcana correspondences.
Oh, nice.
She breaks down the elements with the minors here just a little bit. I think it's enough, honestly. Like if you were really drawn to the artwork of this and you went, oh my gosh, I want to crawl in there and live there, then it's a great first deck. If you're really stuck on another system, maybe, or you don't, I don't know. I don't know why anybody wouldn't love it once they had it in their hands. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Candy. We have a question from Beth.
I think you and I are trying to push it.
I know we're both trying to show it at the same time, and like we're up showing it and then showing it. Virtual high fives, Julie. We're doing great.
Oh my God. Okay.
So what deck are you working with the most right now, Linda?
A couple of decks, actually. I've been working with these more just because I've had them out. So I was kind of like back into it. But I have that cringy deck I was telling you about, Sarah. I pulled out my cringy deck and then I haven't been able to stop using it.
Well, I mean, we're like, if we get to the point that we're able to actually talk about cringy decks, we're all like, I brought my cringy deck, so we're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good for that.
So I've been using it a lot, and I'll just go ahead and say, since she asked,
Vampires Tarot of the Eternal Night.
Yeah.
You know what? That doesn't seem like cringe to me. That
I knew you were going to say
super
that.
cringy.
That's candy.
They're like,
you just bring it up for Julie.
They're like They're like video games from like the 80s or 90s. Like, you know, where the women are this balloon effect here.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bother me because they'd be like the really cringy vampires where you know it's like, really? But it's an excellent deck. So sometimes I just want to read easy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It reads so easy and everything else, but it's one of those where I'd be kind of embarrassed if someone, oh, I want to see your collection. It's the first one they saw, they'd be like, like, it's not me. I swear it's not me. It's my friends.
Well, you know, Tammy Pie's here for the vamps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have all the vamp decks. I would just say, you know, artwork wise.
Candy says, somebody get Julie a fan.
I know. Anytime.
Where's Gerald when you need him?
Exactly. And Gerald is here. Hi, Gerald.
Yeah, hi, Gerald.
Yeah, I do love my vampire decks. I'm just saying they're probably my favorites. And when I don't know what to use, I'll grab one of those. So
have you seen pictures of the new vampire deck coming out, like Tarot of the Immortal Night or something like that? I think it's coming out through Llewellyn in 2023. It's a very modern take. It's like more contemporary vampire.
I don't think I've seen that. I got the one that's in French and it's escaping my mind. It's going to be reprinted in May, supposedly. That's by far, like, I think the best vampire deck out there. I need to put a review of it.
Sorry, Gerald just popped in with here for the wingspan, and I just want to explain to everybody. So last weekend, we did a live on Gerald's channel talking about the Anna K Tarot. And for those of you who know the very vampire-y death card in the Anna K Tarot, who Julie really enjoys, because that's her way, and we all love her. But you know, we started talking about, like, you know, he has big wings, and you know, the wingspan of the various angels in the Anna K and what that might be. So just filling everybody in what that's coming from. So.
Oh my goodness. So then Lily's asking, French vampire tarot?
Yeah,
is that what
it's in my reaching distance? Now it's going to bug me.
Hi, Jonathan.
Jonathan, we right now are talking. Well, we're talking about the Pythonic Tarot, and now we're just talking about sexy vampire decks.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time.
Kelly Bears talked about this on her channel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great. It's got a lot of diversity in it. It's the one to wait for, I think.
Wait, is that the one with the Empress with the bubble gum?
Yes. And that's like a Victorian thing. I think when gum came out, it was like a real, like only these
treat, like a
a novelty.
Oh,
you know, like someone would bring it to this silly Victorian party, they'd be all, you know, like that. So I think that's why it was included.
Gotcha. Okay. I believe Maria from Lady Knight of Avalon also did a walkthrough of that deck. I think that's where I first saw it, because she is also into vampires and such.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing.
It is a beautiful deck. I am tempted, but I've resisted thus far.
I think I got one of the last ones. They had printing problems because they came in like little chunks where I could tell that they got the best cards out of a bunch of, you know, and it was after that you could not find it anywhere. But luckily they all ended up being the same size, which is the only thing that bothered, you know, that I was worried about.
Okay.
But I think it's going to come out bigger and better. But yeah, for vampire lovers, this is like, yeah. It has a little bit in English, but you know, he writes books too. So when those come out in English, I might actually read them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is funny from Beth here. Decks we're embarrassed to show people, because this is like when Linda and I were emailing about, you know, what we wanted to talk about on this live. One of the ideas that Linda actually had that I thought was brilliant, that we were gonna, if we had time, we were gonna try to talk about it, was decks that you are kind of embarrassed to show people, maybe decks that are like maybe sort of a peek into this slightly hidden side of your psyche, you know, that you don't necessarily like want to share all the time. So it'd be a whole episode on it.
It could totally be a whole episode. And
because I definitely have a couple of those. So
Yeah. And I was like, oh, guess what mine is, Sarah and Heather. And they guessed it like right off the
Just goes like that.
You're like Tarot de la Nuit. You know, yeah, we know Julie. We know you. We know exactly. Yeah.
I have that too, Julie. And it is like that where you're like super, I don't know, like teenage girl might
It
like it for a
is.
short period of time.
Yeah.
But the little thing in the book though, even though they're
Yeah, the little white
translated
book.
weird,
Mhm.
that's like one of the little books that I totally recommend, especially with a deck like that. Like you need
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the little white book is very helpful for it.
Yeah.
But such a
Oh, now I'm commenting as Peekaboo Rose, where that was actually me saying Dracula is such a good book, but I
That's
commented.
my favorite book.
Sorry.
Gerald will know how to have you comment as you instead of me.
What I need to do is actually type into the YouTube and not into the StreamYard. So sorry about that. Anyway, but Dracula is such a good book. Like it's such a good book.
It is good.
Yeah. It's super
You
good.
read
Better
The
than the
Historian?
Yes.
I have read The
Yes.
Historian.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that book so much. And it's
was
so, written in the same style, which I thought was great to do that with the
Mhm.
letters and what a great book.
Although I have to say my favorite vampire books, and it's probably a bit trashy, but is the Anne Rice books.
Oh yeah, no,
and particularly the main 5. Like,
Mhm.
Interview with a Vampire is probably not the best. The Vampire Lestat is possibly one of the best books I've ever read.
I've heard Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned seems
Queen
to
of the
be a
Damned is
favorite as
good,
well.
yeah. Mem Not the Devil is also good, but it's very strange.
Mhm.
But it's
I'm
those are some
saving
of my
those for when I
favorites.
run out of things to read, and then I can really just do, because I love series. I'm one of those people that likes the YA series.
Mhm.
Oh, I love YA. It's my favorite. It's like my favorite
Mhm.
genre.
Yeah.
I've only read the first 3 Anne Rice books, but I remember really enjoying them.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
so yeah.
definitely.
I don't think I've read Queen of the Damned. I read
Mhm.
Interview with a Vampire. I think I read. I'm like my memory's trash, but I'm pretty sure I read Queen. Yeah, Interview and then Lestat. I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
Think.
I
Anyway.
wish I'd read them before the movie,
Oh, sure.
because I have a hard time getting those images out. Like Brad Pitt can stay, but the rest have to go.
I watched the movie first and thought it was incredible. And then I read the book, and now I can't watch the film because the film is terrible.
Yeah.
The book is amazing. And the film, I tell you what, Tom Cruise did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But the film is nothing like it just doesn't compare to the book at all. The book is incredible.
Yeah. Is he less of a dick in the book than he is in the movie?
No, he's more. But also Brad Pitt's character Louis is just really whiny and annoying in the book, and you kind of get why Lestat is the way that he is with him.
Yeah.
I think I would get annoyed with people whining about their immortality.
Yeah.
Like, and you've always got one doing that. Angel, I love Angel, but it's just like,
What was me?
It's so hard to be forever beautiful.
Yeah, you're all good looking and young and
Oh my
forever.
goodness. All right.
Rough.
All right. Okay. So do we want to go on to deck number 2?
Yes.
We don't have any other questions about the Pythonic. Okay. I think we're good.
So this one's the Ask the Witch.
Ask the Witch. Okay. Let me blow you up again.
Oh, this one I do know. This one is sort of on my wish list.
Francesca
I have like 2
Marioni
wish
and
lists.
Simone Pace or Pache. It could be either one. I have no idea. So I'll say right off the bat, I don't mind cartoony things, but like a lot of decks I don't like when they're like that. Like Luna Soul, I didn't really like because it was a little too cartoony for me and stuff. But this is cartoony and also not attractive, like some people say about the Anna Kay, which is beautiful. The faces and everything. But I love the deck so much that I've gotten over it. So I pulled some here.
Is it Ask the Witch or Ask
the Witch?
Okay.
Tarot, yeah. And it comes with a nice chunky little book that's in color. Oh, and it's mass market. So I'm just saying it's like,
Damn it. Sorry.
Easy to get. Got a good book. And the books do, and the only thing is there's no men in it. but they do have, but there is masculinity in it. They just don't look as masculine as the decks, you know, like they didn't use men, but it's definitely masculine, which I do appreciate. So I don't usually like the Emperor either, but I do like this one. It's going to be kind of hard to see because it's glossy.
Okay, I will blow you up.
Ah,
there we go. Okay.
So see how everything's just so chaos around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yet the Emperor's not worried about it because they've already thought about it. They expected this. You know, they know it's going to be okay. Kind of relaxing, going, yep, everything's turning out just the way I thought it would, and I know what to do. So
Wow.
I like that. And I'm trying to remember if any. I don't think there's anybody assigned to every single card, but this one's Morgan Le Fay. So they actually have witches and witchy people assigned.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Morgan Le Fay, Saraswati, Titania. Some of them I hadn't heard of before. Here's a lover's card, which I like because they look like they're having a good time. They're not standing there going, oh no, I ate the apple. It was a letdown. They're like running through the Garden of Eden going, this is amazing.
I love that. It's lovers who are like actually having a fun time.
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
Right? Concept.
That's what got them in trouble in the first place. Not just standing around going, you know.
Yeah.
So I do love that. And then there's like the angel, which isn't an angel, is petting a jackass.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
this is super interesting.
That is
Right?
interesting.
So I thought that was really good. Chariot
Sarah
is
from
actually-
Water Child Tarot wants to know if Baba Yaga is in the deck.
Yes.
Yes. Also, hi,
Ooh.
I am Revi.
Hi.
Hello.
This is so new for me, everyone. Like I'm looking at the chat down here. I'm not paying attention.
All good. It takes getting used to.
Yeah.
You are all good.
Let's see here. So this, what am I pulling that up for? I'm trying to remember the Chariot here. Holda. I don't know who Holda is. I haven't gotten into this one yet. But that's who this is on the Chariot. It looks like a reindeer.
Yeah.
Norse or Scandinavian? Holder?
Yeah. I think
Is it Hulda?
German. I think Frau Hulda is German.
German.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
And she's leading a band of characters because at first I thought she was getting away from them. But she's leading.
Okay.
It's the Wild Hunt, right? Is it a version of the Wild Hunt?
Animals and humans, even children who hold on to the cape of Holda, the wild huntress of Germanic legends, and to the fur of the great stag of the forest, the symbol of spring and the season of rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah, they are spirits of the dead and nature. I thought they looked kind of like maybe they were spirits. So I just thought that was great, especially when people complain about Chariot never actually moving, that they're like an active one, then this is definitely active. And there's a lot of age diversity in here, like lots of cards. And I know it's because it's like witches and they're trying to bring in the crone and everything, but I still appreciate it.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Temperance is Biddy Early. We are at the height of the 19th century, and every morning Biddy Early leaves her Irish cottage to gather the medicinal herbs, the waters of the sacred spring, and the first dew, all of which will make the darkness light. She seals them in a blue bottle that was a gift from her dead son, who won it for her in a contest with fairies. It's very specific. But yeah, so she's, actually making something. So that's very, I don't know, I like it.
Bring in the crone.
Yeah, and sometimes with temperance, this just looks so boring. I'm like, that does not look fun at all. Just boring. So, and in the sun, we have Bast.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
And look at the attitude on her.
Yeah.
Is this a newer deck? I've never seen this one, I don't think. I thought I had.
Did I write that down?
This one I think is newer. Like
In the last year, I've only
Yeah.
had it a few months.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's less than a year old, right, Linda?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's an indie deck?
No,
Oh, it's
it's
not.
mass market, Amazon. It is
Huh.
trying to see who of course I don't have the box here, who the publisher is. It feels like an indie deck, honestly. I mean, the way the book is and everything,
Yeah,
and it fits in the box.
Yeah, I haven't heard much or really much of anything about that deck. So
Yeah, I hadn't either. That's kind of why I pulled it. I haven't used it as much as the other ones, but
the publisher is Red Wheel, which I am not familiar with. So
they're Australian, aren't they? Red Wheel, are they Australian?
I don't know.
An Australian publisher.
Okay.
Not sure.
Like the Fool is Crazy Jane. Next door to the home of the Irish poet and magician William Butler Yeats lived an elderly woman who was a bit mad. So she was very straightforward in expressing her thoughts. And she was the poet's inspiration when he created the figure of Crazy Jane, who's in his poems. So, I mean, you get a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting. Like a lot of these, you know, I mean, these are figures that aren't necessarily like super familiar, and in every deck that has myth and legend, like so I think that that's really cool.
It is. And I also appreciate that there's so many, because sometimes I feel let down. Like there's 78 cards and you've got to repeat people, and then you make some pips. Like you could have put a character to almost everything. Like if you're going to, so I like that. So here's a Queen of Wands. So, you know, it's RWS. You know, you can totally do that.
Okay.
But I just like the stories. I feel like it's a story about the person, not just facts about the person. Here's the Five of Cups. And I remember it saying something about how she's wearing the cloak of feathers, but she can't fly until she deals with her grief.
It's an interesting art style.
Yeah. Right. And it's cartoony, but it isn't. But I think it's one of those things, kind of like the Anna Kay, where they're sacrificing their, I make that a perfect, beautiful person, but you lose all the expression in their face, their age, their how a person, you know, lives. They're not just standing there. So I'm getting to the point where I almost can't use those decks anymore. Like the Star Child. I love the one I have. I have the Akashic is the one I like more than the other one. But I don't know. It's just getting to the point now where I want to see.
Yes.
Oh.
Emmy the Grey. I was just thinking exactly the same thing. It definitely does have that liminal 11 kind of vibe from the artwork.
Oh, the Three of Swords. Okay.
Yeah. So I liked that again. It does have your typical heart, but it's in front of her and she has her hand like this. So it's more representative of her mental state than it is of, you know, you having to get over whatever's stabbed. So, yeah. Six of Swords. I like this because of the reflections of everything in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also too, it feels like the women in it are powerful. And if not powerful, they're determined, I guess is a better way of looking at it, because I just like that you can see a mindset in the way the body is depicted, which is something I'm also looking for now. You know, the more I work with different decks, I'm like, I want them to show that. I want them to be able to be expressive, not their face, the way their body is, everything. You know, just someone just sitting there doesn't work for me that much. So that Six of Swords isn't a specific witch, but the witch is a helmsman escorting them. So it does do a little bit of a story there, putting yourself in the hands of others. That's what I liked about this little part of the guidebook, because I sometimes forget that with the Six of Swords, that you're not just moving on, or, you're taking care of yourself, but you're also putting yourself in the hands of someone else.
Mhm.
So, trusting somebody to get you where you need to go. So it's like a good reminder.
Gotcha.
And there's
Sarah was
animals.
okay. Sarah was asking about which card that Baba Yaga represents.
Yeah, I was definitely going to look for that. Now we're going to find out if the book is set up enough where I could, find that easily.
True.
I just know I saw it because, you can recognize.
Oh yeah.
Joan of Arc is in here. Sedna. Baba Yaga is death.
Death.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
She's standing on chicken's legs.
Mhm.
A restless house in the woods spins. It alternately opens up the world of the living and the world of the dead. The woman who lives there puts coals into the skulls that are on the gates so they can see who is coming.
Mhm.
She is immortal and flies in a mortar with a pestle as her rudder. Calls invisible servants to assist her. In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a grandmother, a cannibal, and a counselor
Mhm.
who tests legendary heroes in her present. Yeah, it goes on and on. So I think it gives a lot of really good information in a little bit different way. Because I don't think I've heard her described that way before.
Mhm.
Baba Yaga scares us to our bones. Yes, she does.
Not wrong.
No, I love it, actually. I love that description.
Yeah, we are made of and of the wind whistling in skeletons. In order to keep alive, we must keep a firm hold on our dreams and let go of our life patterns and our useless beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
She will devour us or hurt us. But she also tells us the truth about the mortal nature of experience. So I like that. And I have a few different decks, and they all seem to have different descriptions that are interesting. So I like that people are making these.
Yeah.
Because I'm not someone that's going to go down the library and go, I want to read something about Baba Yaga. This is, how I do it with my decks. It's like my library,
Yeah.
Um,
So Beth is asking, are the cards oracle size? They look bigger, but maybe I'm wrong.
they're just a little bit bigger than standard. Okay. Like just barely on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
The borders are really narrow, so I think it makes them look a little
bigger than they are.
Yeah. Because the Pythonic is actually the same size as this. So they're both just a tiny bit bigger than regular size.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So here's the king of. You see it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. This one is interesting because it's like I love the concept.
Yeah.
I'm iffy on the art style.
I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love cartoon graphic type art style, but it has to be a certain type of cartoon graphic.
Yeah.
But very theme wise, it is very interesting concept for sure.
And there are like little, and it took me some getting used to. And honestly, I had to read it, and then I felt connected to the image, and then I couldn't allow myself not to like it anymore. So the King of Pentacles, it's the embodiment of the earth's ancestor, of the material of the wood that grows ring by ring in the tree's trunk. He accumulates wealth and turns every clump of dirt into a profit. So talk about the woods. This ancestor king is an able forester and shares his experience with the places where he roams. His companion and alter ego, the stag king, enriches the king's practical sense with the sensuality of the woods and a contemplative spirit. So that's what I mean about where that still feels masculine to me, but in a good way. You know, so even though you can't, if you were looking at gender only, you might think that looks like a witch, but they don't. It's not a feminine deck, even though it's mostly women, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Or it's
Which-
balanced. It's a balanced.
I think it feels balanced,
Yeah.
even though I was like, I'm not buying any more decks that are all women. Like, I keep accidentally buying them and going, what's the matter with me? Like, this is just, I don't mind it sometimes, but most of the time, I don't want it to be all women. But then I'll go, oh, I love that deck. I get it. And I flip through it and I'm like, oh, God, I did it again.
I'd be interested to see how this deck compares to like the Dark Goddess Tarot, for example.
Yes, and I do have that, and that's so. When I was saying, when you read the books about the witches or the deities or whatever, everybody does have a slightly different slant. So, like if I read Baba Yaga here, and then I go read Baba Yaga and the Dark Goddess, and probably somewhere else, you're going to get a pretty rounded perception of that archetype. Because you're taking into consideration 3 different people, you know, and then it's easier for me to go ahead and then make my own analysis of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, you know, historical books and mythology and things like that, you know, they're interesting to me, but it doesn't help me guide me to what I need to get out of that.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because the Dark Goddess is also amazing. Definitely something that, you know, I love to work with, but I'm not always in the mood for all of these goddesses, to be honest.
Absolutely.
See, like this King of Swords. I like the white fox or whatever it is in there.
Oh yeah.
Well,
see how like there's a lot of action.
I was gonna say he's very dynamic looking. There's there's movement there.
Dynamic. That's a good word for it. So yeah, so that's Ask the Witch, and I'm trying to see if she has. It says it right here. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck.
Okay.
History and story of the cards, symbols of the major arcana. It just jumps right in. At the bottom of her descriptions, it'll have a positive and negative list of keywords, but she titles them under witches spells, which I think is kind of interesting because it's not really spells, but I guess if you were going to be using it in that way, it's good to say, well, here's the different ways it's going to go if you choose to use this.
Yeah.
And then trying to see if there's any spreads in the back.
Yeah, there are a couple of interesting points about the art here. That it's that the art style, even though it's cartoony, it is like adult looking, like it is, you know.
Right.
And then it reminds me of the White Newman or Cosmic Dream from 11. Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
In the back, there's a section called The Witch's Messages, and she goes through again with the major arcana and the minors and gives like a little snip of something that's more bent in that direction. So honestly, like you could probably just look at this. I kind of like sometimes to have a section where everything's more concise, and that kind of looks like that here. It doesn't go into the stories or anything. It just gives the name, and it's like someone's talking to you. So like the World card, you are home now. Nothing can hurt you. Everything can change radically, break you, give you new life. Every step is a return. Every dream come true is the end of a world or the beginning. And that's it. So I like that. It's like someone's actually giving you advice or speaking to you. So I like that. So
you were saying how like the guidebook kind of jumps into things. So would you say this is more kind of intermediate in that the author's assuming basic tarot knowledge, or is
it
set
has
up
just very little.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like a beginner section. I don't think. I mean, there's like 3 pages where it'll say Pinnacles symbolize wealth and manifestation. I mean, it has a little bit more than a little white book for sure. And there are spreads in the back. There was a couple of spreads. Card of the day, 3-card spread, the Witch's Harvest. And they look pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think I don't think it has enough for a beginner deck, unless you were someone who's like, I'm a witch, I only want to know about goddesses, I only want to know about, then you might say this is my perfect deck. But I think that if you're learning, it needs to be more balanced in gender, I guess. And
I also
even
just think that for beginners in general, like I know a lot of beginners come at tarot because they see a themed deck that's something that they're already interested in, and that makes them want to work with a tarot.
True.
And I think that can work, but generally speaking, like in my experience, my first deck was Legend the Arthurian Tarot. I love Arthurian Legend, but when you're trying to learn the tarot and then you just put another story on top of it, like that becomes too much to absorb. Which I
had that deck
with the Mythic Tarot. Yeah,
same thing. I didn't keep it, and now I wish I had because it's out of print.
Out of print, exactly.
And now I know more, so now I'm like, I could totally work with that deck.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like the Mythic, where I was like, this is just too much study and reading for me. And this isn't like that. Honestly, I think it would be great if you looked at it, you love the artwork. And no, it's definitely not too outside of RWS in any way.
Okay.
And like with the age diversity, definitely. And gender, race, age. So it's just that short on men, but not short on masculine energy. So there's that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's Ask the Witch. And then the other one I brought, which I don't have to go into a lot of detail on it, but it's the
I just have to say, didn't I tell you, Linda, that it would take longer to talk about your deck? Linda, when we were initially chatting about this, Linda was like, well, I have 3 decks in mind, but I'm worried that there won't be enough to say about them. So is there something that we can plan to talk about for the rest of the time? And I was like, okay, we can, but
you will manage.
In all likelihood, more to say than you think. So
it's amazing once you get going and you're having that conversation with other people as well.
Exactly.
It's amazing how much you can talk about one deck.
That's what's fun about it.
Absolutely.
That's why we're here.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what connects people. It can eventually be there for other reasons, but talking about it, and because it's something that not everyone does. It's not like you can walk into a coffee shop and see someone and have a conversation and go, "Hey, what deck do you have in your bag?" Like,
what are you talking about? Exactly.
Yeah. So this is the Desert Illuminations Tarot.
Okay.
I just think this one will be faster because it's themed. Written and illustrated by Lindsay D. Williams. It is Southwestern New Mexico, to be specific. She lives in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I bought the separate book that came out way after I got the deck.
So is that the name of a place? Truth and Consequences.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
New Mexico.
So
that's really cool.
Flyer comes with it. It doesn't give you a lot. I was really glad she came out with the book. Only so, like, you'll recognize faces in this from old stories, like Western, just that Southwestern thing. But I couldn't put the names to it. Like the Lovers is like Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
The High Priestess is the Butterfly Queen, which is, there's some Native American in here. There's Mexican influences in here. Cowboys.
Yeah, I have
aliens.
This one. Yeah,
and aliens. I love
aliens.
New Mexico, of course. Yeah,
of course.
Right. And she does a pretty good job about just saying who they are. And I know a lot of people get like, oh, she really shouldn't be talking about that unless but she lives in New Mexico. And if you've been to New Mexico or Arizona and even parts of California, you see, you're kind of immersed in it. So when I look at this deck, it reminds me of California, actually, because I lived there and I was, seeing this kind of art and, eventually you do learn enough about it where you could, if you wanted to paint it, you could say something about it. It's not like you're speaking for an entire group of people. So I'm just giving that disclaimer, and I don't think the aliens are upset about it. So like, here's the Strength card, and the color in this one is mainly what gets me. I just love the color so much.
Yeah, they're very bold.
Really vibrant.
Yeah, and I got this Kelly bag to go with it. So I'm just saying.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, the hermit is described as a lonesome cowboy.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
So chilies are wands, jugs are cups,
Nice.
Okay.
cactus are pentacles.
My sister lived in Albuquerque for a really long time, so I spent quite a lot of time in New Mexico and in the Southwest while she was there, and it really is like, just from like a culture and feeling standpoint,
Yeah.
a totally unique place. Like it is.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you live there. It's like you're living in a theme.
Right.
They don't want to change. You don't go outside of it. It's not like it's a melting pot of several things, but it's become its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own, just like fully realized, like diverse culture. It's an amazing place. Yeah.
Look at this Nine of the Jugs. It's like, is that Lil Nas? I think that's Lil Nas. That's who she's copying.
Oh, Tammy Pie grew up in Santa Fe.
What?
Tammy Pie was just saying she grew up in Santa Fe.
Oh,
Huh.
amazing. Oh, and this is like, I love Eight of Swords cards. I always look at them and look at this.
Oh,
Oh wow.
the train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Full cowboy.
Yeah.
Definitely that Western theme. Oh. Wow.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
And this said Three of Pentacles. Honestly, Three of Pentacles, I always feel like it's super boring. I don't know why people just don't get as creative with it as other things. But really good. So the Pentacles are all aliens, and they're
fun.
when she writes about them, they are illuminated beings. They are, good aliens.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh, this is delightful.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
And this one with the cow. Come on, like cows have nothing to fear.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I like that.
Yeah, the fashion, right? That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
That is super.
Yeah.
delightful.
So it's very colorful. This shuffle's amazing. This is like, it's not, if it's linen, you can't tell there's texture, Heather.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But I like, it's real, the colors really pop. And it's one of those, like when you can look at it, it almost feels like you can see the ink layers in it.
Wow.
But it's very, the King of Cactus.
And this is also indie?
This one is, yes.
Okay.
So I linked out to her link tree and Instagram. It does have a lot of Native American references. They've only changed a few of the cards, though, like the clown for the fool, which I like that when it's this kind of clown. Like probably Hopi, or I'm not.
Yes, I think that is the reference. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's like the fool in the Tarot de Saint Croix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This reminds me of that too. But with aliens.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the aliens. So, and it's got Georgia O'Keeffe in it because she's from New Mexico.
Oh.
It's the Empress. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But and it's like got Sitting Bull and Justice, which is actually, I'm trying to remember what her name is. Based on legendary stagecoach Mary. She was the first Black woman to carry mail throughout the Wild West. No mail thieves could stand a chance against her sharp shooting skills.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it tells more things that are just to see.
Well, you convinced Tammy Pie to get on top of that, make a peer pressure at its finest.
Get the book too, Tammy Pie.
I think if you grew up in Santa Fe, this deck is kind of a no-brainer. Like, just the feel of this.
See, then here's.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
yeah, me too. Because I'm always like the Virgin of Guadalupe, like my whole life. So, and the colors, come on. I just love these.
Yeah, the colors are really nice.
Yeah.
Candy's sold too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this judgment.
Ah!
Okay.
That poor cow.
Freaking delightful. I love it.
Well, they might just want that cow as a pet. They might treat it, very well.
Just minding its own business in a
I
field
know.
somewhere.
I mean, that's what aliens do,
Exactly.
They mess with cows. Like this is
They have no boundaries.
It's a thing.
known. This is known. It's a thing.
And this is what that's Roy Rogers and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dale Evans.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
And we've got, we've got Saloon Girls on the 3 of Cups. We've got Zorro on the 5 of Cups.
Oh, Zorro, I like.
Oh my gosh.
And your 8 of Cups is a stagecoach.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay.
And this is like one of those. It's going to bug me now. I have to look at the book. You know how there was Jesse James and there was,
Yes.
Legendary outlaw. Billy.
yeah.
the
So
Kid
he's
and-
some type
yeah.
of thing like that. But look how pudgy he is. Doesn't he look threatening? He's the page of jugs. Like
yes.
that can't be
That's
very
hilarious.
scary if he's the page of jugs.
Got Zorro's the 5 of Cups is awesome.
Yes.
Clementia says, okay, you've got my attention. Grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm totally vibing with this deck.
Yeah.
Everybody from the Southwest is like, oh
like-
my gosh.
Yeah, you're like, if you were, you'd be like, how did I not know about this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah,
yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
that, my grandfather used to tell stories because he lived in Ruidoso, New Mexico. And, a million years ago. So when people said stories about Billy the Kid or anybody, they were most likely hunted down just from one person,
Mm.
or people were still alive who were alive back then.
I live in Minnesota. They still celebrate Jesse James Days down in Northfield, Minnesota, because that's where he was captured. Was in
Ooh.
Northfield, Minnesota. And so every year they have Jesse James Days. They do a reenactment and everything because like he robbed the bank down in Northfield, and it's like still a part of like town memory,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that when towns do that, Oh, so here's like our 3 of Heart. We had that talk earlier, but it's Sacred Hearty, so I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that is pretty. I actually
Yeah.
like that.
So, and like this isn't a named person, but I just like her because she has an eye patch on.
Oh yeah.
She looks like something out of a Quentin Tarantino film.
He does actually.
And
Exactly.
nice
Yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
That is a badass lady right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of obsessed with this
I'm
stuff. It's amazing.
He's driving with me. I mean, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm so
Here's your Queen of Swords, Heather.
ah.
Oh,
I like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then like this card, I love it because it looks like every picture of my uncles that I have in black and white way back when.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they look like this. It's like
Mhm.
amazing. My dad, So I just love this deck. And then all the cactuses are, aliens. So you've got that, like the 5 of Pentacles.
uh-huh.
I'm not assuming that the aliens did that to that cow. I think they died of natural causes.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Too far
Call
from being
myself
rescued
that.
by the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you get a whole suit of that, including this, which is hilarious.
Oh man, this deck is incredible.
I know.
Yeah.
It's got such humor to it. That's great. Oh, okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, and this is somebody I'm not gonna look.
That looks like Buffalo Bill.
But it is Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, yes.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, Tammy, who is this? So yeah, so this is one I don't see people talking about it that much. And
Yeah.
I definitely think that if you're inclined at all, you won't be disappointed.
Mhm.
And it's one of my favorite shufflers because my hands get sore, and by the end of the day after typing,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yay.
Very nice.
Who spent money? I want to know.
Well, we know Tammy Pie did.
Yeah, this one, Tammy Pie. This one has gone on. This one has gone on a couple of wish lists.
Yes.
Just as we've been talking.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I wonder if Rachel went ahead and
got the Pythonic.
yeah, I clicked buy, but we'll have to check in with her and see.
Yeah.
On the Pythonic, yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah,
this is
definitely.
Tarot
I know
responsibly.
I wanted to give this deck some love, the Pythonic, because
Yeah.
it seems like it's one of those because it's expensive and it's a long trip and
Mm-hmm.
people worry. And I worried too. I thought it would get lost, but I love it. And then I went back and got my print from her, which is the High Priestess that I love. And her husband has been making wooden boxes, and I haven't done it yet because I figure, if I'm going to get something from New Zealand, I'm going to buy another print and this and that. But he's been making wooden boxes themed for the decks, which were really beautiful too.
Very
I don't know if
nice.
they still have any, but
Oh wow.
Hey, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You have shared 3 decks that I was not at all familiar with, and they were all super cool and interesting.
Yeah, they really were.
I am certainly tempted. Yeah, I'm tempted by the Desert Illuminations and the Pythonic. I will have to.
Yeah. And I love
great.
the concept of the Ask the Witch.
Yes.
Just the art style that I am.
And honestly, I wasn't looking for Ask the Witch. It was mass market. It was less than $30. I could have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
that one is actually.
I just needed that. I was like, I'm not doing DoorDash today for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm door dashing a deck.
Oh my God.
If I did that every time, I'd probably be 20 pounds lighter, honestly.
Yeah.
The pandemic introducing me to to delivered food in that way that's what will kill me.
Yeah. It's been bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delivered groceries and delivered food. I am like the laziest person in the face.
I know. I don't even have to get out of the car and walk anymore.
It's so true. All right. Do we have any other questions about this deck or any of the others? I don't see anything.
My dog is giving me the hairy eyeball. You are fine.
Neither in this one. So
okay.
We're very lucky I didn't get a train. I live literally next to the train tracks. My house.
Oh God.
Wow.
My dog tap dancing with his little toenails. They sound like they're this long. They're not.
Yeah.
Just being dramatic.
He is. He's so dramatic.
All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any other questions about the decks. So,
do you guys have time to sell me anything?
Not on me, actually. I mean, because you already have the Tarot de la Nuit, so boom. We're kindred right there.
And I'm thinking we should do like a separate episode talking about the decks that
our
we're
guilty pleasures.
Yes.
Guilty pleasures, mild embarrassed stuff, peek into the dark corner of your psyche that you don't normally share.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. It's like these are the decks I use and I love, but I probably won't be able to charge anybody to use this deck on them.
Absolutely.
These are free reading decks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes, that's a great idea. We will. I think that would be a fun topic to tackle. So we will definitely have to do that. So, all right. Well, hello there.
I'm not talking to you, puppy. I'm talking to the puppy over here. Not you.
Logan's like, what?
Aw.
Is this what you wanted? Is this everything you thought it would be? He just wants to smell my breath and see if I'm eating. This is really fun.
Yes, cringy decks. Yes.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you, Linda, for coming on. This was so much fun. And the next and
I'm gonna put up some videos. I have actually recorded some that I haven't uploaded. There seems like something goes wrong every time in something, and then I have to learn something to fix it. Wait.
Understandable. It's par for the course. So
Yeah.
if you guys haven't checked out Linda's channel, again, the link is in the description box. Please do show her some love, hit like and subscribe. And yeah, so I think the next 3 girls in May will be, I don't know.
I know we have a day, and I know we have a guest all lined up, I believe.
Well, that one's in, is that? Yes, we do.
No, that's May. Yeah, that's May.
Is that May? And that will be Sarah, actually.
Yes.
Sarah from Water Child
Water
Tarot. Another guest.
And I believe we will be having a theme for that one too.
Yes, we will.
So we're looking forward to that one. So
that will be fun. I think it's on like May 14th or some sort of. We will. This is on Sunset Bow's channel.
Yes,
Sarah.
my channel.
So be on the lookout for notifications for that. And
thank you so much for having me on here, because I think it does help me get more acclimated to this.
You did a fantastic job.
You were amazing. You would
did a
never know
fantastic
you'd done it before.
Yeah, total natural. Yeah, it was great.
Next time I do anything like this, I will learn how to do landscape.
And we would love to have you back. So anytime,
yes,
come and visit us again.
Super great.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you again, everyone. And until the next time, have a great day or evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Oh, wait.
Oh,
is anybody watching the concert tonight? Anybody streaming?
The BTS concert?
I
oh,
am.
hell yeah. I am.
There
Yeah,
it is. I don't know if it might be a little late for me.
I
But.
wish you lived closer to me.
Your army? I didn't know that.
I don't think I knew.
What? What?
Oh my goodness. I didn't know you were Army. Did I know you
Technically,
were?
I call myself Grarmy because I'm
Stop it.
grandma.
Okay, so hell yeah, I'm streaming permission to dance. I'll say it tonight. Like, 100%.
We'll have to talk.
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
I'll send you a number so we can text.
Yes, please.
Oh my
I
goodness.
had no idea you were Army.
It's been over the last year.
Oh
It's
my
part
God.
of the reason I haven't made very many videos.
Oh,
Okay, we will have to connect.
Yeah, we can talk about this offline, maybe.
Yeah,
All right,
I just wanted to throw
everyone.
that out there because I meant to ask earlier.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.